Francesc Masriera, 1842 to 1902, was a very famous Catalan painter, goldsmith, and playwright who, in an Orientalist style, worked with great details and strength. Masriera was born in Barcelona, Spain, into a noble family of artists and craftsmen. Here are some key points about his life and work. Early years and training. Masriera belonged to a rich artistic tradition within his family. His father, José Masriera y Manovens, was a good painter and jeweler. Francesc began his first training under his father and later studied at the Escola de la Llotja in Barcelona. Style. Masriera is most recognized for his Orientalist art, inspired by travels made to Egypt and other parts of the Middle East. His style is described as rich in detail, with bright coloration and exotic subject matter, most often portraying scenes derived from daily life, historical events, and romanticized visions of Eastern cultures. Major works. Goldsmithing. Masriera was a very well-known goldsmith besides being a painter. He created outstanding jewelry works of art, which were of great artistic design and craftsmanship, for sure. His work in this area brought him much publicity, adding a dimension to the family's fame. Influence and legacy. Masriera's work was well received in his time, and he exhibited in major European art capitals such as Paris and Madrid. His paintings are cherished for their technical excellence as well as for the ability to transport the viewer to faraway exotic places. His influence remains permanent through the Masriera family, who remains relevant and continues contributing actively in the fields of art and jewelry. Cultural impact. The works of Francesc Masriera are an illustration of the European movement of Orientalism, which was brought to life by the enormous interest towards Eastern cultures in the 19th century. His paintings and jewelry pieces serve as important contributions to Spanish and Catalan art history. The level of Masriera's dedication to the profession and his capacity to interlace independent artistic disciplines make him a remarkable figure in the world of art, remembered for both painting and goldsmithing. Salome by Francesc Masriera is a startling and dramatic scene. Renowned for his exacting attention to detail and emotional portrayal of his figures, Masriera deftly catches the core of this biblical narrative. Among the most well-known accounts in the Bible is Salome's one. Masriera puts Salome at the middle of this picture, elegantly and captivatingly. The impact of the picture is increased by the movement of shadow and light, as well as by color. Rich details in Salome's clothes and accessories let Masriera capture the grandeur and luxury of the era. The background's architectural and decorative features help to accentuate this opulence even further. Salome's facial expression begs thought. Reflecting the complexity of the narrative and the inner conflict Salome herself experiences, her eyes show a mix of triumph and grief. For its technical excellence and narrative depth, Masriera's Salome is unique in art history. Viewers of this art will have an emotional experience, as well as a visual feast. Francesc Masriera's painting, Harem Girl, creates an exotic and mysterious atmosphere. In the painting, a young woman is seen sitting in an oriental room. She is dressed in colorful and elaborate clothing with an ornate headdress. She holds a string of prayer beads in her hand and sits in a relaxed pose. Behind her, there is an elegant curtain and various oriental decorations. Masriera masterfully uses light and shadow to highlight the woman's facial expression and the texture of the fabrics. The painting is filled with details that reflect the influences of Orientalism and the West's fascination with the East. The depth in the harem girl's gaze and the elegance in her posture captivate the viewer, making them think of stories about the painting. Francesc Masriera's portrait of the woman with a shawl, a hat, and a parasol is a striking depiction of elegance and sophistication. The painting features a woman dressed in fashionable attire of the time, including a stylish hat and a parasol, which adds a touch of grace to her appearance. She is also wearing a shawl, which is draped around her shoulders, adding an element of warmth and refinement. The woman stands in a poised manner, her expression calm and composed. The background is simple, ensuring that the focus remains on the subject. Masriera's attention to detail is evident in the intricate patterns of the shawl, the delicate features of the woman's face, and the textures of the fabrics. The play of light and shadow enhances the three-dimensional quality of the portrait, bringing the woman to life. The overall composition exudes a sense of calm and grace, capturing a moment of quiet elegance. This painting showcases Masriera's skill in portraying not just the physical appearance, but also the character and mood of his subjects. Francesc Masriera's painting Exhausted vividly captures a moment of deep fatigue and vulnerability. The artwork depicts a young woman, likely a dancer or performer, who appears utterly worn out. She is slumped in a chair, her posture conveying a sense of complete exhaustion. Her head is tilted back, and her eyes are closed as if she has just collapsed from sheer tiredness. The woman is dressed in a delicate, flowing costume, possibly made of silk or another light fabric. The costume's details, such as the intricate patterns and soft textures, are rendered with great skill. Her feet are bare, adding to the sense of weariness and the impression that she has just finished a strenuous performance. Masriera uses light and shadow to emphasize the contours of her body and the folds of her costume. The background is relatively simple, drawing all attention to the central figure. The overall mood of the painting is one of empathy and quiet reflection, inviting the viewer to contemplate the physical and emotional toll of the woman's endeavors. The artist's meticulous attention to detail and his ability to convey emotion through posture and expression make Exhausted a poignant and moving piece. It highlights the human side of performance, where the beauty and grace on stage come at the cost of immense effort and fatigue.